Tulsa King is a crime drama series that follows the journey of Dwight, the General, Manfredi, a New York mafia capo who finds himself exiled to the unfamiliar territory of Tulsa, Oklahoma, after a lengthy prison sentence. Created by Taylor Sheridan, the show blends dark humor, gritty crime elements, and character-driven storytelling, positioning Dwight as a fish out of water who attempts to rebuild his criminal empire in a city far removed from the urban jungle of New York. Played by Sylvester Stallone, Dwight's journey in Season 1 is filled with intrigue, betrayal, and a deep dive into the complexities of loyalty and power in a changing world. The series begins with Dwight's release from prison after serving 25 years for a murder he committed to protect his mob boss. Expecting a hero's welcome, Dwight instead receives a cold reception from his mafia family. His former allies are no longer keen on giving him a role in New York's criminal operations, likely due to the time that has passed and shifts in leadership. They offer him a job in Tulsa, a punishment disguised as an opportunity, sending him to this unassuming town to set up new operations for the family. This relocation is seen as an exile, far from the mafia's power center. Dwight arrives in Tulsa with a clear plan to establish his dominance, but the local scene is vastly different from the New York underworld he's used to. One of the first people Dwight encounters is Bodie, a quirky and somewhat naive owner of a cannabis dispensary. Realizing the business potential, Dwight makes Bodie his partner and begins expanding operations, using the dispensary as a front for more illicit activities. Dwight's old-school mafia mentality clashes with Tulsa's laid-back and casual atmosphere, but it doesn't take long for him to adapt and start making moves to carve out a piece of the pie. As Dwight begins to build his empire in Tulsa, he quickly assembles a small but loyal crew. He recruits Tyson, a young driver looking for an escape from his mundane life, and Mitch Keller, a former convict who owns a local bar and proves to be a useful ally. Tyson provides Dwight with an avenue to learn more about Tulsa and its intricacies, while Mitch offers a safe space for business meetings and helps Dwight navigate his operations in the region. Dwight's success isn't just about brute force, it's also about forming alliances and winning loyalty. Meanwhile, back in New York, tensions begin to simmer within the mafia organization. Pete, the Rock Invernizzi, the boss Dwight once protected, is growing old and weak, leading to power plays from his son, Chicky, and other ambitious underlings like Vince. These mafia players, especially Chicky, see Dwight as a threat despite his distance. As Dwight's empire in Tulsa grows, his presence and resurgence become a looming concern for the New York mob. On the law enforcement side, Stacy Beale, an ATF agent, becomes a key character in Dwight's orbit. She becomes romantically involved with Dwight without initially realizing his mafia connections. Stacy's conflict between her feelings for Dwight and her duty as an officer adds tension as she starts investigating his operations once his criminal background is revealed. Her role represents the thin line Dwight walks between his past and present, as well as the challenge of keeping law enforcement at bay. Throughout the season, Dwight faces various threats and challenges in Tulsa. One significant antagonist is Waltrip, a leader of a local biker gang who controls a good part of the underworld. As Dwight's power and influence grow, he inevitably clashes with Waltrip and his crew, leading to intense confrontations and violence. The escalating feud between Dwight's growing empire and Waltrip's established gang is a central conflict throughout Season 1, pushing Dwight to assert his dominance further. Another subplot revolves around Dwight's estranged daughter, Tina, whom he hasn't seen in decades. Their relationship is strained, as Tina blames Dwight for abandoning the family when he went to prison. Throughout the season, Dwight attempts to reconnect with Tina, though their relationship remains fraught with unresolved anger and hurt. This personal aspect of Dwight's life reveals his internal struggle between trying to be a father and staying true to his mobster identity. As the season progresses, Dwight's empire starts taking shape. He becomes more entrenched in Tulsa's criminal world, dealing with local law enforcement, rival gangs, and managing the dispensary business. His leadership style, calm, calculated, and ruthless, earns him respect from his team but also attracts attention from those seeking to take him down. His relationship with Bodie grows, and together, they exploit the legal gray areas of Tulsa's cannabis industry, but this, too, brings further complications from both competitors and the law. Before we get into the season finale, I humbly request you to subscribe to our channel. While it's just a click to you, we really are grateful for each and every one of you. Now, coming back to the finale. The season's finale builds up to an explosive confrontation between Dwight and the forces aligned against him. Waltrip's biker gang, increasingly threatened by Dwight's expanding influence, initiates an all-out assault. The stakes are high as Dwight rallies his crew, including Mitch, Tyson, and Bodie, to defend their interests and eliminate Waltrip once and for all. The final showdown between Dwight and Waltrip is violent and intense, reflective of the turf wars that often define criminal power struggles. Dwight's cunning tactics ultimately lead to Waltrip's downfall, marking a significant victory for the new king of Tulsa. However, this win does not come without costs. Mitch and other members of Dwight's team face personal losses, and the escalating violence catches the attention of both the local police and federal authorities. Stacy, torn between her role as an ATF agent and her complicated relationship with Dwight, finds herself in a difficult position. She must either pursue Dwight with full force or compromise her integrity for the sake of her emotions. Simultaneously, the situation in New York begins to boil over. Chicky, growing increasingly paranoid and resentful of Dwight's success, makes moves to solidify his own power. While Pete Invernizzi remains weak, Chicky is positioning himself to take over the family, and Dwight's exile in Tulsa is no longer enough to keep the peace between them. By the end of the season, Dwight is acutely aware that his troubles with the New York mafia are far from over. The season concludes with a mix of triumph and uncertainty. Dwight has successfully established himself in Tulsa, vanquishing his immediate rivals and building a new empire. However, the shadows of his past are creeping back into view. Chicky's desire to eliminate Dwight grows stronger, and Stacy's investigation into his activities continues to loom in the background. Furthermore, Dwight's personal life, especially his relationship with Tina, remains unresolved. While there is a glimmer of hope for reconciliation, the emotional distance between them is still palpable. As the credits roll, Dwight stands as the new king of Tulsa, but his reign is fraught with threats from all sides: New York mobsters, law enforcement, and the volatile nature of his own crew. Season 1 of Tulsa King leaves viewers eager to see how Dwight will navigate the many dangers that lie ahead and whether he can truly escape the consequences of his criminal past or if they will inevitably catch up to him.